How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to go and do a mission. It's one of the like bigger contracts I've added. It's on Smithville Dam and Drummond Island. This one's called Cargo on the Ship. It's a pretty good mission, to be honest. This is definitely a lot more my kind of thing, really, compared to, say, that Star in the Sky, the new one on Amandra. And this is the basic setup I'm taking. Yeah, double dolphin. I've got one dolphin with a crane on it. The other dolphin, of course, I'm bringing a load for me. Got them horse of a vehicle. That's got a scout fuel trailer on it. I've got a ramped flatbed on the dolphin at the back, and then this dolphin, as you can see, I've got the saddle high on. In that picture a minute ago, I had the like that saddle high flatbed low thing, the big trailer that they've added since we got Amandra. The reason why I'm not travelling with it at the minute is just before you get to the Drummond Island entrance, there's like a trailer store there anyway, so instead of driving the trailer all the way to the other side of this map, I just thought I'd grab one on the way past. But as I chose a like saddle high thing to having that thumbnail, I've already added a saddle high to the dolphin now, so I can't change my mind and switch to a saddle low. I just thought I'd mention that. Just quickly while I'm here, is it just me, or has the water gone down on this dam? I don't know if it is just me. I could be completely wrong, but I just feel like it was a little bit fuller. A little bit deeper. That's what she said. I'm sure it was higher than that. Unless, again, it could be me. I can't remember off the top of my head if all those rocks were exposed on the other side. But it might not make a difference either. Again, I could be completely wrong. It's just, it made me think enough to the point I actually stopped and had a little look around. Even looking like back there's just certain things poking out the water that I can't really remember seeing last time, but yeah, it might just be me. As I said though, with this mission, this is a lot more my style of mission, really. I like cruising around the maps. I like taking in the scenery, especially as they've done such a nice job of making good looking maps on this game, so may as well get the most out of it. I suppose really with that star in the sky, you spend so much of your time at like a couple of miles an hour that all in all you're squeezing the throttle a lot, but you're not really, the scenery's not changing, there's not a whole lot going on. Compared to this, I mean, I suppose to a degree I am just squeezing the throttle as I'm driving along, but yeah, it's just quite nice sort of flowing around the roads, picking the right lines so you don't you know, crash into the barriers or anything on your way around. Again, another tip as you're doing this, I mean, I suppose strictly speaking I could have left the ramped flatbed back at the garage and just bought another ramped flatbed when I'm at this trailer store I'm going to head to. But overall, if you're going to tow two trucks like this, one's got a trailer, one hasn't, you want the lead truck not to have a trailer really, because if I had it the other way round and then this dolphin was being winched by that dolphin on the back of the ramped flatbed, it makes the trailer cuts in more on the corners, whereas because I've got another, like the dolphin behind me that's got its own steering and everything, it just follows me a lot nicer around the corners. I tried this the other day, to be honest, this mission, that trailer. I did this mission a couple of days ago and I kind of got further than this, but I got further up the mountain and I just kind of decided like, nah, I can't really, it's not that I couldn't be bothered with this mission, it was a bit late in the night and I didn't really want to rush the mission, so I was just like, well, I'll go and do something else. And then I attempted to drive that ramped flatbed back to the trailer store, and I got to about there and was just like, nah, I can't be arsed, and then I dived off the cliff. But then the trailer got hooked on the barrier, so now the evidence is there, hoisted by my own petard. Yeah, that's why that trailer's there. So attempt number 2. I mean, obviously with the dolphins, the fuel gets used up. Well, again, it does get used up pretty quick, but it's more that it's got a small fuel tank. If it's had, you know, a 350 litre fuel tank more in line with like all the other trucks, or most of the other trucks in the game, then I don't really think it'd stand out a lot or anything then. One thing when I'm driving all this whole setup, I can't help looking around. I like the view, having a little look, enjoying it. I was like, oh shit, hit a tree, swear back, act natural, act like I was paying attention the whole time. It would be nice if when you tow in two vehicles they'd go a little bit faster. It's not the end of the world, but it kind of limits you. I mean, to a degree, that's how I kind of ended up settling on the duo usually, of taking a dolphin in a loaf, because the dolphin, if it's towing a loaf, kind of overcomes that whole towing thing where it kind of slows you down to this speed and it just yoinks the loaf along at whatever speed you want to go. But yeah, once you're hauling like 2 trucks and everything, it doesn't really seem to matter too much which truck you've got behind you. It just kind of goes to this default towing speed. But winding up and around these mountains is quite nice in a way, because all things considered, you never really had to use this mountain path a whole lot. I know you did a bit, like I did, going Drummond Island and stuff, but yeah, I wouldn't say, considering it's a pretty big chunk of this map. And again, very nice views. It didn't get used a whole lot. I was just stopping, saving the footage, in case I forget. As you can see as well with the loaf, I've kind of hooked it over the front of the sideboard of the Dolphin. And I didn't really... Well, I was going to say I didn't need to bring it. Obviously it's got repair points and fuel, and then the scout trailer's more fuel. I kind of knew the fuel would come in handy regardless, but yeah, the repair points, I mean, every now and then this game can just be a troll. You hit a random rock or barely nothing and it deletes the suspension, so yeah, I wanted to have some repair points on me just in case. I went for a little bit of interior view there, seen this bridge, was like, oh hell no. No way I'm attempting it in interior view. I remember trying to get across that section, I think it was in the P16 with that special objective trailer. That's one time actually I did have to use this road. I think I ended up going like, instead of using that bridge, you can see there's like a little muddy path round the, well, left or right, depends which way you're approaching it from. I think I drove the P16 along the muddy path, but because the trailer was quite long, it kind of cut in itself. And I dragged the trailer across the bridge, but yeah, I drove like the other route. It was a bit of a blag, but it got me over there. As you can see though, I was already nailing the fuel pretty well. Earlier on, after I got over the dam, there's a trailer store just after the dam, and I kind of cut this out because as you can see the video is already 50 minutes, but all things considered I got quite a lot done in this mission. I would say, yeah, there's quite a lot of footage all things considered of rather than having to split it into like, yeah, 2 videos. Not that I mind that, but doing that Star in the Sky one, it was just, it'd have to be so heavily edited to just fit it into one video that it wasn't really worth it. But yeah, because the pace of this mission is pretty nice, I'd say this is one of the slower bits in general, and it's just because I'm winding up the mountain path. But like I said, in its own right, that's sort of pretty enjoyable in this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want the whole game just to be like, you know, roads like this. I do like the off-road terrain and everything of it. Like, I mean, if you say you had this game versus that Euro Truck Simulator, that looks very cool and everything, but I think I'd get bored of that before this. There's something about, I suppose, terrain physics that I'm surprised more games don't try and utilise. Like, it's funny really, and does anyone remember the game? The brilliant game Red Faction, and I think there was Red Faction 2 and Red Faction 3. But yeah, that was like a brilliant game. You could blow the terrain up essentially. Like, me and my brother used to play multiplayer on that thing for probably years, like, because you could shoot like little tunnels into the cliffs and everything behind you. You could blow walls out the way, so when you both started in like this little fortress facing each other, you couldn't just hide indefinitely. You could like keep shooting and blowing the walls out and try and dig people out of their little bunkers, and it was just a fun game. But I'm surprised really over the last, say, 10-15 years, games have focused more on making, say, the graphics quite crispy. I'm surprised they haven't tried messing around more with the concept of like terrain deformation or the environment, like a destructible environment. So I like all that sort of stuff. As you can see though, I got to that trade store. I mean, it's just down the road from this entrance. Yeah, I kind of cock-blocked myself into having to get this trailer, which I was having slight second thoughts about while I was there. I was considering changing it for... It's quite a long trailer. It looks similar to this, but it's like on the saddle low. It's just narrower and it's a bit more sensible. I didn't quite realise until I was driving here that, yeah, this trailer's a bit of a wide monster, because the Dolphin isn't exactly the most narrow of vehicles. Although all things considered, I don't regret the decision to take this trailer out, as you'll see. I mean, it went pretty well, all things considering. Considering Drummond Island is a little bit of a tight, twisty, awkward map, and yeah, this is a bit of a monster trailer. But because I didn't really have that much fun in the end on a Star in the Sky. I kind of wanted to use this trailer for something else at least, and this turned out to be quite a nice use for it. And again, the Dolphin was doing pretty well. There was lots of other trucks I kind of wanted to use. I kept on umming and ahhing over all kinds of setups. I was gonna do like one of these and the Freightliner, and then I was thinking I could do the twin steer, because that could put... I've got to go and grab 2 oversized cargo, which are 4 slots each. So yeah, obviously got the ramped flatbed on the other Dolphin. This trailer can hold 5 slots, so that's sorted. But yeah, the twin steer could hold 4, so that could have just grabbed that. But yeah, I didn't really know what to use in it. Even at the end, I nearly didn't complete this mission, or was thinking about completing this mission and then like saving the footage and reloading the game, so I've got the mission again. In the end, the only reason I decided to cash the mission in is essentially I could stage this mission myself. Again, if I wanted to anyway, I could still drive the same trailers to this point, grab some oversized cargo and drive back. So yeah, I didn't really need to stage it or anything. But it's like that Star in the Sky mission I still haven't completed technically, because yeah, I wanted to keep the plane for a bit. Again, I wish I could take the plane to a different region, like Michigan. I mean, it'd be pretty cool having a plane on the back of this trailer now. Probably not the best route, if I did. So we're kind of off the main road now, getting into... it's definitely getting a bit more windy, a bit tighter. As you can see as well, this trailer, it's pretty wide. And because the saddle high kind of sits further up the chassis of the truck, as you turn left or right, yeah, it just kind of... It's not that the trailer swings out more, it's just the point where it connects you is like so far up the truck that as I'm turning, as you can see, it cuts quite far over to the left as I'm going, so you definitely need to go nice and wide and give it as much room as you can. I apologise there, there's a couple of little glitches tonight. There's nothing I can do to stop them. Some nights it's pretty generous and lets me off. Other nights it's a bit of a disaster. Fortunately, they're only like a second or so, but yeah, they're a pain in the arse, so I can't really do anything about them. I mean, this was one nice thing about bringing the Dolphin along for this is, yeah, it's always been a pretty solid truck, this thing, especially having 8 tyres as well. It plants itself into the ground pretty nicely, it digs in pretty well. It's also got the 2 axles that can steer, which is pretty nice. But yeah, it's just, overall, I think this is a very good truck. I believe it's a contender for the best truck in the game. To me, I'd probably say it is, but I appreciate there's like... It slightly depends what mission you're doing. There's certain things where I would say stuff like the Taiga is more suited than this. So yeah, you got to go down this narrow path. To be fair, it actually got here better than I thought. I thought it was going to be a right nightmare. And now, of course, I'm thinking, oh yeah, crap, I've got to turn the bloody thing around. I didn't really do much there. I was sat there for about 20-30 seconds, just kind of like, I'm in an hour in, having a sip of my coffee, trying to work out which way I'm going to go with it. And I went to go this way, but yeah, this trailer's a bit of a monster, so I didn't have the room to do what I thought I was going to do. Or it was better to do it this way, basically. I mean, knowing my own attempts to reverse trailers before, this thing still went pretty well. Actually, to be fair, semi-trailers I'm generally alright at reversing. It's them bloody trailers where the axle tucks under the trailer like it's an axle on a swivel. Like that ramped flatbed that I shall shortly be attempting. They're the ones. I'm not even sure if it's possible to reverse them in this game. I've even looked on YouTube, seen some goddamn professionals swinging 2 of them around in a yard. Like, he's clearly been doing that thing all day, every day for the last 20 years, and he made it look pretty easy, but on this game, I don't know. So what I did in the end anyway was like kind of winch the back of the trailer to a tree that was to my left, pulled the arse end around a bit more so I could just steer enough to get around here. I mean, I think the main thing that's catching is those legs on the front of the trailer. As the trailer steps down, it's also got those legs there. And I tend to find this with a lot of trailers in this game. It's, if you're going to catch anything, it tends to be those legs. You see, I think a lot of trucks would have tapped out now, especially if the Dolphin is bordering on getting stuck there itself. But like I said, with the 8 tyres, it's just, I believe it seems to work that way in this game, that the more tyres you have, the more grip potential there is. I know that's kind of logical, but I'd say in real life there's other things involved, like what the tyre's made of, the hardness of the rubber, the weight of the truck, etc, etc, the size of the tyre. But yeah, in this game, I think generally speaking, I mean, that's like, Bruce would have been a pretty good truck to try with this mission. Unfortunately, I got along there, started tipping. I suppose on the plus side, I flung a winch out and grabbed something before I actually fully tipped over and was just kept on the side. Maybe because this trailer's wider than the Dolphin, it might have actually still sat me like below 90 degrees, so I could have just started the engine anyway. But yeah, flung a winch out, got myself back to my wheels, but this thing tipped off. Thankfully though, this was the Dolphin with the crane on. Although this crane is a little bit, yeah, a little bit like a wet flannel, so yeah, I had to kind of manoeuvre it around. I've kind of got used to rescuing cargo like that. I mean, all things considered, that went about as smoothly as I could hope. Left it in reverse gear. Again, if I had $1 or whatever in this game for every time I accidentally left it in reverse gear, the amount of times I sabotaged myself, like accidentally reversed backwards off a mountain or something, just like, oh my god. One day I'll learn. I probably won't, but I'll keep telling myself that. So even going through there, all things considered, Dolphin's still ticking along pretty nicely, and I've got the high range gearbox in, so it's not even like I've got the off-road, which you could do. I certainly wouldn't knock it as a recommendation. I mean, I knew I was going to be doing a lot of the travelling along like the roads on Smithville, all the way up that mountain, etc. And then even on Drummond, really. I suppose it's this section from the ship sort of back to the main road that's the craziest bit. Again, apologies, only a tiny little glitch, but still. If I could recover it, I would. That was the one good thing about Call of Duty back in the day. You used to have like, oh, certain Call of Duties have theatre mode, so whenever I got a glitch I could kind of go back to theatre mode. It was a pain in the arse, it was a long, boring method to get around it, but yeah, I was able to like recover the footage that way, just re-record it, snip it in, and that's it. But with this, there's no such luck. Again, it's getting close though. Dolphin's definitely reaching the point where it's not liking it. Although I believe a lot like the inside edge of the trailer, I think, was scuffing on the rocks quite badly there. And then as I got to this hill, it's those legs again that are catching. As you can see, the back of the trailer, the wheels are lifted off the floor at this point. So, I mean, yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend this trailer if you were going to do this mission yourself. I certainly enjoyed using this trailer, and I'm glad I did, but I have absolutely no doubts that, say, just a normal semi-trailer sideboard or something, sideboard or flatbed, I've said this before, but I sort of prefer the look of the flatbeds, definitely, but the sideboards, just every now and then when I tip over like I did a minute ago, there's a relative chance that the sideboard can help just keep the cargo in the trailer, versus on a flatbed, the second you hear that disconnecting noise, like, that's it, it's gone. So yeah, I mean, it's like this ramped flatbed, that's only like a flatbed option. It'd be pretty cool if you could have a sideboard version of this. Another thing as well I wish they'd do is add a sideboard, like, back end or whatever to the twin steer. Although I've been hearing a couple of things about the second update, or phase 2 or whatever it is that's on the way, and one good thing is they're going to add an option where you can pack vehicles, I believe, on the back of, like, in my sideboard or on the trailer. And I've not seen any videos or anything, but I did see a thumbnail, I think it was from TC Gaming, where you could see like little wooden wheel blocks kind of, yeah, it looked like the, I can't remember what vehicle it was properly packed on the trailer to where it was like, yeah, it had little wheel blocks and it had probably been ratchet strapped down or whatever. Which is good news, because, well, yeah, I try and take vehicles with me everywhere. I quite enjoy that as part of the game. It'd be quite cool if there was more recovery options on this game. I know there is a few dotted around, but yeah, kind of setting, say, the Dolphin up with the crane and a flatbed, and making a bit more kind of like a mechanic, you know, a rescue, not a rescue, but a breakdown recovery vehicle, something like that would look pretty cool, I think. God damn trees. It's one of them unkillable trees. One day. We'll figure it out. I sort of blame myself for that one doing like some tiny little reversing, but in the end it was like, Jesus Christ, trailer just moved. Every time I kept trying to drive forward, it was like, as the trailer was snapping the weight onto me, it was just scooting me back round to where I was clipping the tree. Yeah, I mean, I got that Dolphin that far and it was near enough run out of fuel, so... But it was about the perfect place to kind of have them cross paths, because I could go pretty wide. I mean, look at the life, goddamn professional. He was like driving before the engine was even started. Yeah, top them both up with fuel, and then now we're going to attempt the same thing with the ramped flatbed. It's funny how little the ramped flatbed now looks after towing that massive... I can't remember the name of that thing. Saddle high, flatbed wide thing. I think that's what I call it, something like that. Yeah, going through here and stuff though. Much better. It was quite nice to try both these options. One of the things that persuaded me to use both Dolphins in the end was to kind of feel the difference when I'm towing the trailer between having like a saddle on that's actually resting half the trailer's weight on the back versus this that's, yeah, I'm just fully towing it, and when I slam on or whatever, that thing's like pushing behind me. Sometimes you'll see later in the video when I either hit the handbrake or you try and brake, the weight of this trailer behind you kind of pushes your back end round, which, to be fair, to a degree, actually quite light. You can kind of get used to it and use it to your advantage, which I sort of do later. That was my fault. I wasn't even paying attention. I think I was just looking around at the scenery or whatever, and yeah, clip that rock. I mean, I think that's what I enjoyed overall about this mission. It was just quite... These trucks feel like... I mean, it still wasn't just a, you know, walk in the park. You still got to be careful where you're driving. There was a few tips and all the rest of it. But generally speaking, this truck feels, I don't know, beefy enough that it can actually handle this terrain and everything. Whereas, yeah, with Star in the Sky, again, like I say, it didn't necessarily feel difficult, I'd say. It was just a little bit, yeah, slow pace and like, meh. There was a lot of drives just back and forth doing like the same section, really. It takes a little bit for the Dolphin steering to kick in, but once it does, I quite like how it sweeps across. I think that's why I don't really mind that the Dolphin steering is on the slower end. When I was here, I was like, what do you mean not enough space? I was having like a mini panic attack then, and then yeah, it's because it was offering it in the sideboard first, and then I had to press one of the buttons to switch it over to the ramp flatbed. But yeah, I was like, oh no, I thought I was going to have to recover to Smithville, go and get some different trailer. Panicked for a second, and it was like a 5-slot cargo or something. As you can see, I mean, it was kind of a poor choice on my part, loading the cargo before I turn around. I was trying to be all delicate about it, tried to winch the trailer around, it tipped over, and then yeah, just Dolphin brute force, move the trailer out of the way. Hide the evidence, and we're good. So we'll see if things go any better with a bit of a narrower trailer. It's a nice little view there of the ship. I did wonder back sort of in the day, to be honest, like, I'm surprised they didn't utilise that ship more than they did. I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say this is utilising it. Another thing I was surprised, because I'm certain this was the case, there was no upgrade to be found next to that ship, was there? And I kind of thought, I'm surprised they didn't do something like that. Like, cargo ship tipped over and yeah, there was an upgrade in one of the cargo containers or something laying on the beach. Starting to get a bit worried there, seeing the angle. The angle of me dangle was not good. So even there though, I'll go to reverse and it's like, well, I don't even want to reverse a lot because that axle just tucks the opposite way under the trailer and then it ends up trying to just seesaw it over. But, oh no, that's the noise I didn't want to hear. I was looking now like, really? God damn it, I haven't got a crane. I was now umming and ahhing whether to, yeah, bring the black Dolphin or not, but fortunately, stubborn, stubborn enough just to keep ramming it. Keep pushing it till it goes in. That's what she said, of course. Yeah, give it a little tap, and it was kind of pushing the trailer along to the side. Give it a good old nudge, bit of winch. We got it back on there. Again, all things considered, I went about as well as could be expected. Got a tree up my house, but you get that on the big jobs. Christmas tree, I love Christmas. Do you know what? I've got my Christmas tree up now. I always have my Christmas tree up. I leave my Christmas tree up every year. For one, it's easier. Secondly, I kind of blame the cat. But if I'm honest, I like Christmas trees. You see the people when it's June, bloody mocking me in my Christmas tree ways. And when it comes around to December, like an old gold prospector, like, yo, laughed at me. So he's laughing now. He's laughing now when it's Christmas tree building day, bitch. For me, it's always Christmas tree enjoying day. I'm up at night a lot and I like the Christmas lights on it, and again, I'm blaming the cat. Cat does love the tree. My old cat, bless him, I have to find me a picture of it. I got a picture of my old cat in the tree, and I don't even know how this is possible, but one of his eyes is glowing bright green, and the other's I can't even pronounce that bloody word. Glowing bright yellow. He's got like, yeah, green and yellow eyes. He's got like Christmas tree eyes. Christmas tree light eyes. Bloody hell, I can't even talk tonight. And he looks about as happy as a cat could be in his tree. And now my cat Scruffy, he's literally a pussy, and yeah, he's terrified of everybody except me, but sometimes he is scared of me as well. It made me laugh once. As I come out my bathroom, you can see into the kitchen, and again, my cat is a complete wuss, and he was eating his dinner, and as I walked out of the bathroom, I didn't even really think about it, but I had my hoodie on, and for some reason I had my hood up. And as I walked past the door, he looked at me, shit himself, jumped about 3 foot in the air, but the funniest part was he kind of realised it was me mid-air. So as he landed back down, he just carried on eating his dinner like absolutely nothing had happened, and it was just like, made me fucking laugh when I seen it. Tried to play it off, but yeah, a 3 foot jump kind of gave it away a bit. Going pretty well through that section. At least the trailer managed to get up that kind of brow of the hill. Almost clipped that tree. We're all good. So yeah, this is a good section of the mission done. We kind of got the main faffing around done on the home straight. Not exactly sure what I was doing there. Thinking about my life choices. Grab a bit of fuel off the loaf and we're off. I mean, yeah, so far I can't really complain. I suppose both oversized cargoes did tip off the trailers, but all things considered, it certainly could have been a lot crueler to me when the that one fell off in particular, that I didn't have a crane. So yeah, now we're on the home straight. Got to go back to the entrance to Smithville, and then we've got to take these beasts down the mountain. I forgot to mention earlier, but you would have seen it in the footage, as I went through the gateway from Smithville to this map, Drummond Island. Obviously I had the loaf and the scout fuel trailer in the back of my sideboard, but it just glitched through again, like went invisible. It's a bit of a pain in the arse. I seriously wish they'd fix that, because I don't know, 80% of the time it's kind of irrelevant. I'm usually messing around on one map, but there's definitely times where, yeah, I want to be able to travel through the gateways and still have the loaf and everything, because, like at the minute now, I'm towing the loaf behind me. Not that it's the end of the way. I went to hit that tree. I wanted to try and kill it, and I steered too late and I missed it. Yeah, it'd just be like, obviously, if the loaf and everything was in my sideboard now, as you can see, I must have clipped the loaf on some and he tipped over. Fortunately, he's a goddamn professional, so he's back. Yeah, I mean, if that was in the sideboard, stuff like that wouldn't happen, and I'd still have a winch available, so it's definitely something that they should be able to fix by now. I'm sure at one point they actually had it fixed, because I've definitely travelled through gateways and it's worked, but for whatever reason, it's having none of it. See us S-bending the road like, yeah. You mean straight? Why would you build a S-bend like that when there's no reason not to build a straight road? I know it's for the game and I'm just nitpicking, I appreciate that. But you know what I mean. The Romans had it right. They built Roman roads everywhere. Just one fat straight line from A to B. That's why they got shit done. That's one down. See, when I slam the brakes on there, it kind of skids me sideways. Looks pretty good. Nice little, like a scene from The Professionals or some old school English program. Yeah, travelled through the gateway with a loaf because I was just winching it behind me this time. It kind of just popped it to the side of me, ready to go. Next up is this. At least I remember to actually refuel the bloody thing. Again, got to give a nice little wide line to that trailer. I apologise for the little glitch, but I'm probably like half a truck length ahead or something. I suppose one thing as well, I've probably a combination of things, but I appear to have avoided damage pretty well on this mission. I mean, I brought the loaf with me, obviously, and had the roof rack, but I don't actually think I repaired anything on the journey there or back. It was mainly just fuel, and that's kind of the main reason I did bring the loaf, just to have the scout fuel trailer, which I know I could have just grabbed one and flung it in the sideboard. See, I remember that time. I wanted to know if that tree was nailable, and it was. Good times. Another thing I've just noticed tonight, I'm not sure, but it's like they've turned the sound effects of things around you happening. Like, as I squidge through that mud, you can hear it kind of froth and spray up and out or whatever. That's what she said, couldn't resist. I tipped over earlier, and you know, like the fuel glugging noise it made that, but it was so ridiculously loud. I even turned my TV down just because it was like starting to freak me out being that loud. It was like, I might have to edit it in, I'll see. I don't know if I've got enough clips. One day I'll show you, but I've definitely noticed that when I was driving across a stream as well, it was kind of like the river sounded exceptionally loud. Anyway, yeah, straight across all them S-bends. Back to the entrance and we're off. So that's a good 2/3 of the mission out of the way now, I'd say. I mean, the first bit was just pretty easy, driving from the garage or the warehouse or whatever to the Drummond Island entrance. See that sexy little loaf in the background? I was looking like, can I make the gap? Of course he'd make the goddamn gap. He's a professional. Juicing everyone up. See, without the loaf, I probably wouldn't have even made it there and back. In fact, I definitely wouldn't have. So, yeah, because the thing was glitched through, obviously, I chucked the scout fuel trailer in the sideboard, popped the loaf on this trailer. Now they've both got fuel and everything. Spare fuel, should I say. And originally, I'm only going to do it for like a few seconds. I was going to tow them in like one big road train like this, but again, just for whatever reason, it makes it go this slow, which I don't really know why, because both Dolphins could go into a high gear. It's like the vehicle you tow in obviously stays in auto, which can be an issue if you've got trucks that you have to manually engage, like the diffs or all-wheel drive or whatever. You're best off being in that vehicle if you're in like a winching situation, because if you're just letting it autopilot itself, it'll just stay in auto. But yeah, the Dolphin must be sitting in like first or second gear auto, and that's it. It just won't let it go any higher than that. If they both sat at this speed in the high gear, which I believe would be fair if they did, especially as they're both the same truck and they both have the high range option. So yeah, I split them up in the end. I'll do 2 separate runs. I thought I wanted to, I nearly said open my legs then, Jesus Christ. Spread my legs. That's even worse. Stretch my legs, that's what I was looking for. Fucking hell, what have I been doing? Don't check my search history. That's what I need to invent, an app that detonates my phone upon death. Don't even care if it blows one of my legs off with it. That would be probably one of the best selling apps of all time, as soon as you flatline. That's it. Your internet hurts. I can't even really speak to it. Your internet search history. Just detonate your entire fucking bedroom. Yeah, I think it was this way when I was approaching with the P16. Again, I apologise, I can't believe it glitched, but you can just see the tail end of it. I almost fucked it up as I was flying along the bridge. I added a bit too much right-hand steer and almost just drove completely off the cliff. It was panic situations, that's why I just kind of freaked out for the subsequent 10 seconds of video, because I just panicked, steered hard left, flung a winch out into the middle of nowhere. Didn't really know what I was doing, I just know that I didn't want to go flying off that bridge and down the mountain and then have to spend like an extra hour recovering myself. Well, if I'm honest, that's the thing with this game, like, I like to travel fast and I do drive a bit stupidly, but that's because I kind of like tempting fate on the game, and I quite enjoy rescue missions being part of the whole situation. And if I drove too carefully, I'd only ever get like one rescue mission a week, if that, whereas the way I drive is like, one, I have more fun while I'm driving like an idiot, and two, yeah, I kind of accidentally on purpose incorporate more rescue missions into it, which is why I wish they'd up the strength of these bloody cranes, especially the big crane. It should be able to lift more than it does. I think, yeah, even with the big crane, you can't even lift. I think I tried lifting this Dolphin up, like, I couldn't even lift the front end of it up with the crane fully retracted. And someone was saying, and I appreciate it, it's true, like, the longer you extend the crane in real life, like, the theoretical less weight it'll lift. So they kind of got like a fully extended weight limit, but still, just for the sakes and purposes of the game, if you flick a truck off the side of a mountain, there's times where I've just ended up recovering it to the garage instead of rescuing it with a crane, not for lack of trying or wanting to, but it's just, yeah, the guts aren't there in it to actually like lift a truck back out the side of the mountain or something. I mean, yeah, overcooked it on one of the corners, rolled the trailer. To be honest, I suppose that's one nice thing with this trailer, is that it's pretty wide so it doesn't tip easily. I mean, look at this for a goddamn horse with a vehicle. Don't act like you didn't like his little gallop there back to his wheels, because we all enjoyed it. I think some people, deep down, they try and pretend like they don't like the loaf, but deep down, they love the loaf. Again, I'm too busy staring at the loaf, not even looking where I'm going. But who needs to look where I'm going? All I need to do is see that goddamn horse or a vehicle behind me. Do you notice then, I've said this before, by towing the loaf, it's like it reduces your high speed, like your speed in the high range gear, by just 1% or 2. It doesn't really feel like it makes any difference to the speed. But I'm taking practically no damage from the suspension. Every now and then you'll see one damage, like the loaf sort of picking it up instead of me. I've noticed this kind of fairly consistently through the last 5-6 months or whatever of playing, that I suppose maybe the 3 or 4 months I wasn't really towing a whole lot of vehicles for the first month or so, but yeah, it's maybe it's just something to do with the mechanics, but it seems to kind of pass some of the damage on to whatever's behind me instead of putting it all onto me, which is convenient, especially when I'm just taking, like, yeah, the loaf, as I've said, is kind of like a truck backpack. It's just a truck repair thing you can take with you, so it doesn't really make any odds if the suspension of the loaf gets wrecked or anything. It's still a goddamn professional, still do its job. I've seen it rescuing flip trucks before. If you don't loaf me by now, probably the best example of it saving the day, saving everyone's bacon while it was destroyed, fuel pissing out everywhere and all sorts. Still got the job done. But yeah, so this is what I quite like, especially with this trailer, both of them together. Just, yeah, got an oversized cargo. Story of my life. Driving along the mountainside, pretty good views. At least this time I'm going down the mountain, so the speed's picking up pretty nicely as well, pretty nice pace. I probably could put it in auto now and go even faster, to be fair, but never really considered it. So yeah, that's why I had to drive this down here. Definitely one of the best things I did this whole game was bring at least one vehicle that had a crane on it. And to be fair, it's not Dolphins' fault this crane is a bit weak and crap at the minute, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, I know what I wanted to mention. Like, I mentioned it yesterday that I've made a Patreon account, but I was saying a little while ago, and it's true. Like, I didn't really want to monetize this channel, mainly because I swear in all sorts in the videos, and you know, YouTube are just like, you fucking safe for kids. It's like, what? What do you think? I'm fucking great around kids. No child has ever died on my watch. It's when you stop watching them, that's when they usually go missing. But yeah, it's like they're going to demonetize every advert, every video and all the rest of it. So I kind of wasn't really wanting to do that. To be honest, part of me I was like, well, I don't know about Patreon either, but if I'm honest, I am enjoying myself doing these videos, and I would like to carry on like doing this as long as I possibly could. So I could do with a bit of help keeping the channel going long term. But yeah, one thing that I found the other day, I clicked on one of my videos, I can't remember which one, but there was something in it I wanted to, it was one of the review videos, and I wanted to see like the turning circle of it or whatever. And I got a bloody advert. That's what I was going to say. Has anybody got an advert before one of my videos, or even during one of my videos? I didn't actually see an advert during any of my videos, but I had a little yellow box in it, like, and the worst thing was, worse than anything, was the person advertising at the front of my video was Paris fucking Hilton. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like a worldwide celebrity, and you're muscling in on my bloody videos to peddle your own shit. Talking about something like, oh, no one knows who the real Paris is. No one gives a fuck either. And all these people kind of drained the life and fun out of television, so we all head over to YouTube, and now they're all fucking over here. Again, overcooked it, got a bit keen. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say though. I don't necessarily think I'm going to monetize the channel, but it was like, Jesus Christ, if Paris bloody Hilton's muscling in on it, then I might as well. So I can assure you, regardless, even if I did monetize it, one, I think 99% of my videos would be like unmonetizable anyway. But even if there was, I wouldn't ram it with adverts, because in all honesty, adverts do nice fucking editing as well. So I can live with the odd one here and there, but yeah. It's not my thing really. I kind of like not having adverts. Plus, yeah, it's just, you know, it's like YouTube trying to jump through some fucking politically correct hoops. So you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that, you're not allowed to say every jet stream didn't mill himself. It's just ridiculous. I wouldn't be able to survive a video. I'd spend too long trying to think 10 seconds ahead of like, well, should I say that? Like, free speech. Free speech isn't to protect a sentence like the dog walked outside. It's to protect sentences like no child has ever gone missing on my watch. It's when you're not, you know, it's stupid jokes, it's offensive shit. That's the whole point of free speech. And yeah, too many people getting offended. Do you know what you say to someone? If someone gets offended, you say something, they go, I'm offended. Go, great, I'm offended, you're offended. Checkmate, bitch. Now fuck off and go and cry somewhere else. Like, if I genuinely offended someone that isn't just being a pussy about it, then that would bother me. But yeah, there's people who think like they can just be offended and it's like they get to change how you think, feel, act and speak. It's like, it doesn't work like that, because if that's the case, then yeah, I'm offended, you're offended, so now you have to change how you think, feel, act and speak based on my offence. Like, offence can only be taken really, rarely given. It's subjective. If you find something offensive, then, I mean, what's wrong with being offended anyway? I mean, people have called me an arsehole and stuff in the comments. I like it. It's like, criticism's funny, and when they say something about like the gearbox or whatever, I'm picking the wrong style, it's good, because it makes me think about like, okay, why have I? Why do I like this gearbox? And it's something to talk about in the videos, and like I said, everyone's entitled to their free speech. I do drive like a tit on this game, and I enjoy doing so. I would encourage others to do the same, but if that ain't your thing, then do whatever you like. Yeah, that was a bit of a random. Don't know how we got from Paris Hilton muscling on my videos to offence and free speech, but it's my thoughts on the situation. As far as all this, yeah, gender bollocks. I mean, put it this way, I'll defend your right to be gay as much as my own right to be straight, because I'm live and let live. I don't think anyone should tell me, or be able to even think they can tell me how to live my life, so I certainly wouldn't want to tell anybody else. But yeah, the whole getting offended every 2 minutes, like, you can take a dick to the anus, you can take a joke, surely. I mean, Loaf, goddamn professional. Although, as you've seen, I grabbed the trailer, I didn't realise again, I left it in reverse, went flying backwards off the mountain, but fortunately, Loaf is a goddamn horse of a vehicle. When other vehicles would have pinched a Loaf, I winched a Loaf, and we made it. I tried to kill that tree last second. Panicked, swerved at it. Turns out that's yeah. It's a bit of a beast. Arnold Schwarzenegger, that one. What we got? Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. What was the other one? Jean-Claude Van Conifer. That son of a bitch. I'll have to go back and get him actually. It's been a while. Now I've got the, oh yes. Now I've got the all-wheel drive twin stick. I bet there's loads of trees that might be killable that weren't before. Although I have hit some trees recently actually, and you glitch right through them if you hit them hard enough, which is goddamn outrage. Every tree in this game should be killable. If I run for SnowRunner president, that's what I'll aim for. In my SnowRunner world, every tree is killable. Everyone gets to kill a tree. Dead trees for all. So yeah, pretty much back across this bridge. Is this the one where it starts getting really loud? No, I didn't do it that time. There was one time when I went over that bridge and the stream noise got ridiculously loud. I didn't even have my headset on either, so if I could hear it through the telly that intensely, then it was, yeah, going pretty loud. So that's where I've got to drop it off up ahead. You see where I hit the brakes and it kind of pushed my arse end round? I kind of use it to my advantage here to make these corners a bit better. Clip my back end, I think, on something there, but all things considered, it went pretty well. Yeah, this was when I was kind of considering, should I just park here, get both the trucks here, save the video or whatever, complete the mission and then quickly reload it, so I still had this mission to try again, but like I said, I kind of decided that I could restage this mission regardless. It doesn't really matter if I have a cargo from the ship right in the corner. Just wondering, you never know. But yeah, that tree's legit. Tree ain't letting no one through. Like I said, now that tree's one of the boys. Passed the test, we're mates, high five him on the way past. See how though I'm not towing a loaf now, and I'm picking up suspension damage. I mean, that's just one of the hidden ways that the loaf is a goddamn horse of a vehicle that most people don't realise. A lot of people don't realise the magic of the loaf. I didn't realise the magic of the loaf at first. And it's one of them, I've said it before, I mean, it's not the fastest thing. I think it's pretty decent for scouting, because it's very hard to tip, it rolls back to its wheels easily, blah blah blah, it's good on fuel. But it's not rapid for scouting. Like, I personally prefer to just go scouting with trucks. But there's just, yeah, there's never a situation where having a loaf on you is a bad thing. It's just, it's always a good thing. It's always a benefit. But like I said, overall, I've enjoyed this mission. Felt like we squeezed a lot in. That's what she said. Yeah, it was just pretty good. Not spending 10 minutes trying to get from, say, here to there. It was just generally quite free-flowing, as long as like a few little hiccups rolling the trailer. But I quite enjoyed that, to be honest. A few times that the oversized cargo went flying off the ramped flatbed as well. So yeah, the double dolphin. Double dolphin gets the win. Trying to reserve fuel for some reason, not really sure why. Possible thumbnail activity. Of course, can't have a thumbnail without the loaf in on the action. Posing for the picture. I think the payout in the end was about 15 grand on this mission. I think it was over 1,000 XP as well, which, as I've said before, XP doesn't really mean anything to me anymore. That's why I still do say, once we're at level 30, if that XP was converted into, say, $10 per XP, that'd be an extra 10 grand for the mission, which, or whatever it is, probably more than 10 grand. I can't see it again because it shrinks the screen. But yeah, point being, it'd be an extra little juicy payout. There's no reason why it would be a bad thing, really. And yeah, that's about it done. We're just going to have a little cruise back to the garage. I couldn't resist. Just, the mood took me. Smashed into my white Western Star. For whatever reason, the CK1500 was having none of it. I mean, look how nicely we clipped this corner like a beauty. And then I was watching the loaf behind me, look back, I was like, oh yeah, shit. Probably time to steer back the other way. That's about it for today, though. That's, yeah, cargo from the ship, I think it's called. With the white Western Star, another little tap. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, get yourself a loaf and a dolphin, and I'll be back soon.